All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 5:46 a.m. here in Sunjun, China. Um, and I've been up for a few hours getting ready to make this video here. So actually, I've been thinking about making this video for quite some time, but it takes a lot of thought process to try to give you guys some information on like what gear to use at what level, and is there anything that you can find for quests and yada yada yada. Can I get away with using stamina spirit gear instead of stamina intellect gear? Can I get away with of the owl gear, which I think is your pure? Let's find it here real fast. I think of the owl gear is like pure intellect. I could be wrong about that. Eagle, owl, owl's intellect and spirit. Okay, my bad. There should be one here that's pure. No, it's just pure stamina, right? All right, whatever. Um, can I get away with a double stamina gear instead? So if you don't know how gear works, basically, um, if an item like this, that's a bad example. Let's find more even numbered ones. We got no even numbers? Fine, whatever. If an item like this says 13 intellect, 13 stamina, and I was to go find the plate equivalent of just stamina, it would be 50% of that 13 added to the other 13. So if this 26 stat in total was 100%, going pure stamina gear or a pure stamina on this would be like a 75% of those stats. And we can find this here real fast. So we got of the eagle. You can see it'll add 15, 15 at most, which is 30 total stats. But if I go of stamina, it'll be 23, which is 75% of 30 effectively. Wait a minute. Why the hell is this 15, 15? Damn. My current one is 15, 15, and no, my current one is 13, 13. This is just better. What the hell are we doing here? Level 43? Oh, is this? No, this is right. So I'm just stupid, basically, for not having this. Is that what you're telling me right now? All right, whatever. Put that on. Jesus. But we'll talk about this later. So as for figuring out where the hell to get gear from quests, I've decided that by far the best thing to do is just to teach you how to use the classic WoW head gear planner where to find things. So, for example, at the top of the screen here, we got cloth, leather, and mail. If I turn that on, it'll add cloth, leather, and mail to the list. If I turn it off, it'll stick with just plate mail. And very clearly over here, you can see the source. And the source, some of them would be questing sources, some of them will be, blacksmithing, yada, yada, yada. Very, very easy, lemon squeezy if you want to know if there's any quest or gear that you can pick up here or there in the world. But for me looking around, the answer is there's not really a lot of quest rewards or anything outside of going away from plate mail, which we'll talk about in a second. And I would not advise going away from plate mail once you're past level 42. All right, so let's get into it then. The other thing to note about the gear planner thing, well, I'll come back to it later, is screw it. I guess we can talk right now. Is there's a gear, there's a level slider down here, so you can adjust the level of the Paladin in particular, which will help you search for gear. All right, so where are we? We are in World of Warcraft Wowhead. And if you click on Tools, there's an option here called Gear Planner, and you can pick class and you can pick race. Okay, so I got Paladin, Dwarf, yada, yada, yada. At the top of the screen here, you can put in your talents, so you can have your talents affect what's going on with the stats and so forth and so on. There's a level adjuster to help you search for the gear, so we go over here to gear. And basically you just right click on the item and see this is including cloth, leather, and mail. And you got all the sources here. You can adjust it via source, which, whatever. I guess I can adjust it via source. That will make it even easier to find quest reward sources. And you can adjust it via level, obviously. There's probably some item level stuff you can plug in here to help do your search, but I don't really bother with it because I want to see everything kind of a thing. And you turn this off and it'll just give you plate mail. So anyone trying to make you pay money for a questing guide or something to help you with your gear, this took me, 5 minutes to explain how to use the Wowhead gear planner? I mean, damn. All right, so moving on. Okay, so prior to level 41, level 42, somewhere around there, Your gearing as a paladin is basically do whatever the hell you want, whatever floats your boat. However, it's highly advised that you have a mix. And now that I've been thinking about it, you're probably going to want a mix while you're leveling to level 42 of intellect and spirit gear. So specifically, that's gear that's of the eagle and of the whale. So of the eagle is your stamina intellect gear, and of the whale is stamina spirit gear. Yeah, and when you search for them on the auction house, you and I guess I can show that real fast, as long as I'm in a place. Reese Mage, Iron Forge, yeah, sure, we can go there. Yes, I see you. Can we get on a mount? Where are we? I'm at. Oh, I was outside testing. That's right. I was fresh off of testing the fire resist stuff. Right. Jump, twist, blink. In we go. Open up the auction house. So what you'll do is you'll go armor, and you'll click mail or plate, and you'll type in eagle, for example. Boom. And it'll give you just eagle gear. The other thing I can do is I'll type in whale. That'll probably be whale. Boom. Yeah, significantly more options. Adjust for level, you know, that sort of thing. Do whatever the hell it is that you want. If you click mail and you search whale or eagle, you get the same thing that pops up. Eagle. Can we spell today? I can't spell today. Wow. Eagle. What? Fuck it. I don't. My brain just died. Screw that. We're getting the hell out of here. Alright, so that's how you do both those things. So that's how you can search in-game, and how you can use the Wowhead Gear Planner to help you find if there's any quest rewards or whatnot. Yada, yada, yada. I'm going to tell you right now that prior to what we're going to be talking about today, I didn't find shit. All right, so I looked through it, didn't find shit, moving on. Okay. So you can see I've adjusted the level here to be a level 42, and then over here I have it as a level 47, or we're going to talk about gear changes from A to B. It is notable that if you have a full kit of level 42, you can easily survive in that gear for 5, 6, 7 levels before the gear will start getting outdated enough that you need to consider upgrading it. It's not really the stats that you need to upgrade, it's more the armor that starts getting out of dated. So in this level 47 gear, you'll notice that I don't have one of these for level 52 and beyond. And the reason for that is very simple, because this level 47 gear is going to easily carry us to level 52, level 53, level 54, somewhere in that vicinity. And by that point, you've long since theoretically already gotten into Blackrock Depths. And Blackrock Depths is a dungeon that is absolutely chocked full of Paladin endgame gear. It is dripping in good gear for you as a Paladin. So for example, this shield here, which it has green armor, and green armor is a highly coveted item for you as a Paladin while you're leveling. It means that some of the bonus stats in this gear is going to armor. Okay, this one drops off of the damn rock elemental, which is like the first boss in Blackrock Depths, and he's like a level 48 boss or something like that. So you can see this shield is like requires level 47. Absolutely an amazing shield. Get that damn shield, just because any shield that's telling you it's got green armor and stamina, you want that damn shield. There's a lot to talk about. Where do I even begin? I suppose I should start at 50,000 feet and then work my way down to the more nitty-gritty nuance and details of everything. All right, so at 50,000 feet, it's important to realize that, so if I come here, I don't want to deactivate it. Let's say all the gear that we had up here, the total armor value amounted to 100. Right, like plate mail armor, all this mounted to 100 points of armor. I can guarantee you, and this was like the best possible gear you could wear for your level, right? And that gives you 100 armor, all this gear up here. I can guarantee you exactly how much armor your shield is going to have if it is level appropriate, and that is going to be 60. The sheer act of putting on a shield increases your total armor value by 60%. It is by far the most valuable item for you to keep up to date on your Paladin at all times. You should be updating your shield, particularly noticing its armor level as often as you possibly can. That doesn't mean that means you should be like buying a new shield like every 2 levels, every 3 levels at the absolute most, because you want to keep the armor up to date as much as possible. It is the single highest contributor to your armor value, and it's always stupidly cheap to upgrade. One of the reasons why it's so cheap to upgrade is because stamina, intellect, shields basically do not exist in the game. So you just go to the auction house, find an updated level appropriate shield, and just buy the cheapest one you can possibly find that has stamina on it. Done and dusted. The only reason you wouldn't do this is if you have a shield spike on your shield and you are lamenting replacing it. So what this means is that once you get your AoE on at level 41, you become a little bit more nitpicky about what shields you really want to wear. Because the shield spikes are a thing. However, iron shield spikes are so cheap that it's not that big of a deal. Mithril shield spikes are a little more expensive, but they're also relatively cheap, especially for the level. But you just become a bit more nitpicky in trying to find shields. So, for example, over here we have Aegis of the Scarlet Crusader. Just about everybody and their dog gets this shield because, level 39, Scarlet Monastery Cathedral, like, blah, 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 right? So usually you'll transition from one blue shield to another past level 41, if that makes any sense. So if I move up 3 levels here and I go look for shields, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to see, okay, that one doesn't exist. If it doesn't have a source, it doesn't exist in the game. It's just basically, it used to be in the game during testing, and it doesn't exist anymore. Desert Walker, 20 something % drop chance. Stamina Intellect. If you find a Stamina Intellect blue shield, wait, this is held in offhand. Damn. I don't think I can filter for shield. List all random enchants. What? Weirdo. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I can't. Yeah, I can't filter for shield up here to my knowledge. Whatever, we'll scroll down some more. Mountain Buckler, just a drop. Binds when equipped, so it's going to be an auction house thing. Intellect Stamina. Doesn't have... I'm not really that digging it. Let's get another example here. Let's find the highest level green item and compare it to... Well, stay away from all the dead. That's going to be expensive as fuck. Rescue quest reward. Okay. No stamina. Increased chance to block attacks is not the worst thing in the world. 1578. Guess this is a durability increase. This might be worth it. It might be worth it to do the rescue mission for the damn chicken in Tanasis for this shield. You'll have to consider that. But this is definitely possibly an upgrade for you. Just because the increased chance to block is both a DPS increase and a durability increase, and it does go up slightly in armor. That might be worth it. Maybe. But yeah, you're not going to replace this shield for a million years. The Scarlet Crusader one is perfectly fine. All right, let's go back down a couple levels here. All right, so we are still working at the 50,000 feet mark here. Okay, so prior to level 30, you're okay. No, my bad. Prior to level 42, so you're leveling. Damn it. What I want to say here is your gearing prior to level 42 can consist of leather and mail gear as long as you have a nice up-to-date shield, because the vast majority of your armor when you don't have plate mail is super coming from your shield, right? So if you don't know how armor works, so if I go over here and I start including leather and mail, I actually find some damn mail armor here. Okay, there's some cloth. All right, cloth helm, mail. Okay, this is mail helm. That's a really bad example. What the hell are we doing here? Go over here, click on this thing, turn on cloth and mail armor. We're learning today, bitches. And no. I don't want plate. I want some nice. I want just a piece of mail gear. Okay. So if you don't know how armor works from mail to leather to plate mail, if a plate mail item has 400 armor, then its mail equivalent is going to have about 200 armor, and its leather equivalent will have about 100 armor. It basically cuts it in half all the way down. So for example, if I find a piece of leather here, you can see it's almost about half, right? So this mail one is 230 compared to our 404 on the plate mail, and then the leather is 111 compared to our 404. So you can see it's almost cutting it in half each time as it goes down all the way to cloth. However, the shield armor value doesn't really change. So prior to you having plate mail, your shield is increasing your armor value by like 120, like 100% to 120%, somewhere around there. It is an insane amount of armor increase for you prior to you having plate mail. It's such a large increase that you can kind of, that for those lower levels, that you can get away with not wearing mail of the Eagle gear, and you can go with leather of the Eagle gear, for example. Even though that is kind of hard to find, all the quest rewards, all the leather working, all the blacksmithing, all the whatever, all that leather gear is always stamina, agility, stamina, agility, stamina, agility, stamina, intellect. Leather gear is kind of rare. But it does exist, and feel free to mix it into your build as long as your shield is up to date. The other important thing to note, however, is ideally you want about half your gear prior to level 42 to be of the Eagle gear, mail, and the other half of your gear, let's go over here real fast, the other half of your gear to be whale gear. You want a mix of the Eagle and of the whale gear. And the reason for this is that you're actually doing you can't AoE very well, so you're doing a lot of single target killing in the world, and having a mix of spirit gear. Spirit gear is really good when you're doing single target killing. I'll talk about that in the lower levels as to why. But I guess I can talk about it now. Once your AoE kicks in, your spirit gear is absolutely terrible. And this is actually something I wanted to showcase here real quick. So for single target killing, spirit gear, absolutely amazing. So for example, I got this Paladin here twinked out a little bit to go make some other videos real fast. So if we look at her stats, she's got strength on her weapon or something. But you can see I've got a bit of intellect, but a lot of spirit, right? So I'm a mix of stamina and spirit gear on this Paladin. And I just want to showcase what exactly the problem is with spirit gear for AoEing versus why it's actually so good for single target. So the main problem with spirit gear, let's go here, is when you're... Okay. So we're going to watch our spirit tick regeneration. So the way spirit tick regeneration works is you have it... Would you shut the fuck up? 1 second here. This is going to drive me insane. Go to hell. All right, cool. Woof! I don't want to hear none of that anytime soon. All right, so spirit regeneration, it's you need to wait 5 seconds after casting a spell before spirit regeneration kicks in, and then after 5 seconds after that 5 seconds, you get spirit regeneration every 2 seconds. Consecration lasts 8 seconds, so you might think some weird stuff to yourself, like, hey, if I create a macro to artificially lengthen the time, of consecration to 9 seconds, like 9.1 seconds, or I just wait a little over a second in between consecrations, I can get 2 spirit tick regenerations in between consecrations. I am smart. Actually, no, you're kind of dumb. I thought about this and tested it in the past, and there's a benefit and a problem to it. But let's just watch this real fast. So I'm going to consecrate, and we're going to see... actually, I don't want to do that. We're going to see how long it takes for me to get... I got a spirit tick and another spirit tick. All right, let's do it again. See how many spirit ticks we get. I'm going to spam consecration. All right. 1 spirit tick. Just 1 spirit tick, right? All right, let me wait a fraction of a second here. Let's see how long I have to wait. Is it 1 second? Is it 2 seconds? Okay, 1 tick. Boom. Okay, no idea how long that was. Let me tell you why that's good and that's bad. Okay, so why is that good? The reason why it's good is you can actually gain somewhere in the vicinity of like two. You can gain a fair bit of intellect out of that for every AOE pull. So the equivalent to like one piece of the Eagle gear, give or take, right? So you can increase the size of your mana bar per AOE pull. So, for example, if you had 100 mana when you did an AoE pull, that Spirit Tick regeneration gain might increase your mana to like 105, 106%. And this is even including you getting punched in the dick a little bit more, taking a little bit more damage, and having to heal yourself, okay? So it can increase the amount of actual mana that you have in any given fight. Why is it bad? It's bad because it's going to cause your fight to last somewhere in the vicinity of like 8 or 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds longer. So you'll do an AoE pull, and that AoE pull is just going to last a little bit longer because you're waiting a little bit longer for that extra spirit tick in between your consecrations, right? So in between your consecrations, you're waiting for 2 spirit ticks as opposed to the 1 spirit tick, which is what I got when I spammed the hell out of the thing. So we already saw that. When I was spamming the hell out of the thing, I only got 1 spirit tick. Right? Blue bar only went up once. Maybe blue bar went up twice. I really don't know. Would you please, just fuck off. I don't want to. No. Oh, okay. Anyways, we'll run away from this guy for a second. So why is it bad? Well, you're taking longer to kill the targets, and I want to show you something a little crazy here. What is my spirit tick regeneration right now? Is it 20? I think it's 21. So I'm expecting like, okay, it's 20. No, it's 30. 30 spirit. Okay, 30, 29, 29.5 spirit tick regeneration. That's with over 50% of my gear being dedicated to spirit currently. Why is this bad? Well, I don't want ice cold milk. That's a terrible idea. Where's my hearth at? Deepwater Tavern? Yeah, sure. No, is there mobs in Deepwater Tavern I can kill while I'm talking? Yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, we'll go to Deepwater Tavern. Are you gonna fuck this? You are, aren't you? Yeah. Don't do it. All right. I think that settled it for us. All right. So why is this a bad idea in general? Well, it's gonna take longer for you to kill the mobs. So, okay, so it's taking us 8, 9 seconds longer to kill the mobs, but we have more mana while we're doing it. Isn't that worth it? The problem is you're taking longer to kill the mobs, and you could be drinking. So if it takes you 8 seconds longer to kill all the mobs, that's 8 seconds where you could have been drinking, and your spirit tick regeneration is going to be absolutely fucking nothing compared to your the amount of mana you could be getting back from drinking, if that makes any sense. So if your gear's a little out of date and you need a bigger mana bar to safely pull the mobs, like, 5, 6, 7% to pull the mobs. It's not the worst idea in the world. Give me some melon juice. Thank you. It's not the worst idea in the world to go for these double spirit regeneration ticks. But if you don't need the bonus mana, what the hell are you doing? You're better off drinking your damn juice. So, for example, this is giving me over twice the mana regeneration. Not over twice. Mana regeneration over... What is it? I gotta actually drink it to find out, don't I? Yeah, 34 mana per second. So my spirit tick is 30 mana every 2 seconds, and this is 34 mana per second. And it will upgrade again when I am level 25, I do believe, but I could be wrong about that. It shouldn't upgrade again. That would be ridiculous. And maybe... Yeah, I guess it'll upgrade to level 25, so I'm... Yeah. So the point is, you're wasting your time trying to take longer to kill the mobs. Just don't do it. And this bleeds into more spirit gear issues. So the way spirit gearing works is that the more spirit gear you stack, the higher it escalates. So if you're wearing pure spirit gear is much more ideal than you having only a bit of spirit gear on, because every bit of spirit you stack on top of your character does more and more and more and more and more for you. There's a lot of classes when they level that really like spirit gear. Warriors love pure spirit gear. Rogues love pure spirit gear. Priests absolutely adore pure spirit gear. Who else loves pure spirit gear? Shamans actually adore of the whale gear while they're leveling. Paladins, not so much. But this is, however, it is amazing for single target. And the reason why it's amazing for single target is our AoE rotation is to consecrate as much as possible, which means we don't really benefit very much from spirit at all. But when you're doing the single target rotation, you have like 20 seconds of downtime in between killing mobs. And so you can actually get an absolute ton of mana back just from spirit tick regeneration alone. So let me myself, which might take a little bit of time. Want a little bit of mana here. Okay, cool. So we're going to judge SOR rank 3. In theory, I'd be putting down a consecration. Okay, about half mana right now. And let's just see how much mana. This is going to take. Yeah, we're just going to murder him because I am a Chad right now. But let's say that took me 20 seconds. Let me seal here, and we'll see how much mana I get back in 20 seconds, because you're going to have about 20 seconds of downtime. All right, let's see here. Where was it before we started? I want to make it at the L. Okay, cool. So we're at about the L. All right, let's wait 20 seconds. Should have about 20 seconds of downtime. So I was 57, 457. That's 10 seconds of downtime. And that's another, okay, done. And 65. All right, 69. Okay, cool. So 700. So we gained, like, what was that? Like 250 mana. That's a massive amount of mana to go up. So, for example, if I come over here to this boar, let's actually get our mana to full real fast just so we can see what the hell is going on. My point is, if you do a mix of the Eagle and you do a and Spirit gear, life is just amazing. We'll put on Wisdom just for shits and giggles. Alright, let's get the rotation up. Okay, one sec. One consecration down, and then we chill. Alright, we're not doing anything else. In theory, I would judge for damage eventually. But we're going to wait for out the 20 seconds. And I'll judge damage on this guy just for the hell of it. So 20 seconds goes away. Boom. And you can see I'm almost back to being full mana, which is actually ridiculous. So I'm starting, some spirit gear is really growing on me mentally while you're leveling one-handed. And this is true if you're a two-hander or if you're one-hander or anything like that whatsoever. So if you're going two-handed Paladin, for example, highly advised that you have maybe a third of your gear be of the Eagle gear and the rest of your gear just be of the Whale gear, like literally stamina spirit gear. I know that sounds retarded, but if you watch the stat video, we're actually gaining a lot more from spirit gear over time than we are gaining from strength over time. It's like a 30% DPS increase to go from a one-hander to a two-hander as a Paladin. It's not that, once you factor in consecration, it becomes less. But in theory, if you're a two-handed Paladin, you also want to have consecration, because why the hell not? So it's a 30% DPS increase to go from a one-hander to a two-hander. If you have nothing but strength stamina gear on top of that, that'll be an additional 20% increase. However, if we go stamina intellect gear, like a third of it, and the rest of it being of the Whale gear, and then you happen to have consecration, the consecration alone, the spirit gear and the intellect, everything is just beautiful. So highly advised, and I can showcase that real fast here, I guess. One sec. We can do that real quick. This video is going to be long as hell, isn't it? Yeah, almost always 30 minutes. We're almost done. Don't worry about it. I'll help you guys with your AoE gear in here in a second, but we just want to showcase some stuff. Boom. So we did end up back here. Oh, let me check the water real fast, just so I'm not a liar. Water upgrades, level 25, yeah, okay. Alright, so let's say I'm a two-handed Paladin. I'm like, I want to play two-handed Paladin, Palatime, what the hell is wrong with you? Okay, cool. I don't have an extra talent? I got 2 in protection, okay, cool. So I'm still going to have Consecration, because you'd be ridiculous if you didn't have Consecration. If you're going two-handed, you really want the Armor Aura, so definitely have the Armor Aura on. Red Aura is not all that great in the world. You can try it, but So why am I a big fan of Consecration? Well, if you're going Stamina, Intellect, Spirit, which is what this Paladin actually is, you just regenerate so much mana so quickly. How do I put this? Seal of Command, the DPS you gain from Seal of Command is negligible compared to what you gain from Consecration and just going Stamina, Intellect. So, for example, if you're Strength, Stamina, two-hander versus Stamina, Intellect slash Stamina, Spirit gear, two-hander, but you're using a fast two-hander with like SOR, your performance is going to be virtually identical, except one of these two-handers, you have options, right? You can take dungeons, much better. Your healing is much better because at least you have some of the Eagle gear involved. Very easy for you to swap out. And more importantly, your sustain in combat for when you get in trouble is significantly better. So, for example, you pull 2 mobs at a time, you don't really care. You can go sword and board in a moment's instance and just grind it out. Your intellect is, you're not being caught off by having you're not going to lose a 1v1 fight ever because your spirit regeneration is too high. You're not relying on Seal Command too much. Allow me to just show you. So you can see my polearm here is a 2.9 speed polearm. I'll show you what the SOR looks like without it. It's 15. Okay, cool. Let's get a Judgment of Crusader on here. And I fucked that up, so whatever. It should be, now it's 26. So it goes up more than 15, right? So let's do this properly. Is that a miss? Judge, dead. Okay, I actually want to heal myself to full and get mana back, and I just want to observe the sustain we have from a Paladin like this. And I'll talk more about armor kits when we get there. I don't only have a reinforced armor, it's only 16? Damn, that sucks. I probably need to fix that. Jeez. I've fallen in love with armor kits while leveling, particularly thick leather armor kits, just because they're so cheap and easy to get off the auction house. Alright, cool. Let's find a level equivalent mob. Sweet. And let's just watch our mana regeneration here. So we run up, you judge, we do 1 consecration, and then we chill. We just chill. We just let spirit tick happen. Hit him, judge him, dead. In that case, I didn't even have to judge him because of the spirit tick regeneration. But you can see our health is going up insanely fast due to the spirit. I don't even have to heal myself. I'd be on to the next mob already, and yeah, whatever, right? It's just super insanely efficient. You can see I have about as big of a mana bar as I have a health bar, which is really, really good. Like, how do I die here? Becomes a serious question. Or I guess I could just parry, miss, judge, yeah, whatever. Kill him. Okay, cool. On to the next mob. What's going on here? What do you want? On to the next mob. Judge. Hit him. Consecration. This is level 20. He'll die real fast, unfortunately. My mana is going down significantly more. Yeah, I'm not gonna judge. I'm just gonna let the spirit tick regenerate. What I enjoyed doing is just killing 1 mob with the seal and then running over to the next, and then I would judge Crusader. And I'm literally just gonna kill this mob with Crusader. I would just let spirit. It's not XP per hour efficient, but god damn did I not have to drink when I did this. Holy shit. Because your Crusader seal is actually not the worst thing in the world. But you can see I still have it up. I just go over to the next mob, and then this is the guy who gets the consecration treatment. And he'll just die super fast, and then I'll just go over this mob over here. And this is just your life as a two-handed paladin. I'll judge on this guy, or not, because I just do too much damage. Let spirit tick regeneration. We're almost all the way back to full. Alright, cool. Judge. SOR. I could consecrate, but it's going to be like 8 compared to what it would be if I judge Crusader on it, which is probably like 10 or something right now. But you can see the stats. They're just not going anywhere. And it's beautiful. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. How many heals before I whom? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, can't do that. Let's heal. Let's completely ourselves. Let's pretend we're in a really scary fight where we're basically completely and we have to fight one mob roughly our level. Damn it, I want something a little bit higher level, but that's fine, for our lives. Alright, we are going to simulate this real fast. But I need some seal. Okay, cool. SOR rank 3. And we're just going to fight this mob for our life. And I want to see how long it takes. Let's assume we're missing like crazy. Let's stop attacking him for a little bit. Let's see how long it takes before I can get a big fat holy light into myself. Would you stop that? Please. Relax. Okay, it took that long. So it took less than 20 seconds for me to regenerate to the point where I could get a damn holy light in. How long does it take again? Should be right now. Any second now, I'll get another holy light. Yeah, that is ridiculous. How do we die? These are big chunky heals. Like, how am I supposed to die on this damn Paladin? Anyways, that's my advice. So prior to level 30, whether you're doing a two-handed or one-handed playstyle, God, I'm about to level. That's really bad. Oh well, whatever. Is what it is. Making videos. Lol. Let's get the hell out of here. Highly advised. I'm actually falling more in love with a mix of the Eagle and of the Whale gear. Stamina Spirit and Stamina Intellect. Alright, so that covers prior to AoE farming. Now let's go talk about AoE farming in specific. Alright, so making the transition from going from mail gear to plate mail is painful. But once you're in all that plate mail, it's really, really good. The armor value is so extreme in the plate mail that I would highly advise that once you're in plate mail and you're doing AoE thing, to not mix and match mail and plate mail. The loss of the armor is really not worth it. I would only feel comfortable for you doing that with 2, maybe 3 pieces of your gear at most. If you're like, oh, I'm level 43 and 3 of my pieces of gear are mail gear, but my shield is up to date, I'd be like, that's fine, but still, just pay the damn gold to get into the plate gear. It's super, super useful. However, there were some things that I did note. So there is heavy mithril gear. So you can see I have a heavy mithril plate helm, a heavy mithril breastplate, and a heavy mithril pants and heavy mithril boots in this build. All right, so the rule of AoE farming as a Paladin, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The rule of AoE farming as a Paladin is, and this is what you do as a Paladin. So prior to level 42, level 41 specifically, you're running around, you're questing, you're not really AoE farming. You can if you want to, but you're not really doing, you're just killing one mob at a time, basically, just like I demonstrated, running around, having fun, questing, yada, yada, yada. The moment you hit level 41 is when your AoE farming comes online, because that's when you can have both Consecrate and Blessing of Sanctuary. And you have plate mail gear. And once that happens, you want to start AoEing as a Paladin. You can stay two-hander, and you can keep doing the Stamina, Intellect, plate mail, and then like 1/3 of your gear is Stamina, Intellect, and then 2/3 of your gear is of the Whale. You can keep doing that as a Paladin all the way to 60. It's not the worst thing in the world. But it's nothing compared to the AoE I'm taking. AoE is the meta, basically. All right. And it's wrong for me to say that it's nothing compared to. It's just a different flavor of you running around doing what it is that you do in the world. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, drink of water here real fast. Ugh. That's better. Talking almost an hour, aren't we? Yeah. But I'll note, I'll direct your attention to the fact that I have some heavy mithril plate gear here. So we just talked about how whale gear, spirit gear, is terrible for AoE farming, but it's absolutely amazing for single target. The only real substitute gear other than stamina intellect gear while you're AoE farming is either gear that is green armor with stamina, which is what this heavy mithril pants and the heavy mithril helm and the heavy mithril gear set has, or gear that is just of stamina. which will be the 75% statted thing, just pure stamina, right? But the rules of AoE farming as a paladin are very simple. You want enough mana in the tank that you can successfully farm however many mobs you're trying to farm, plus 20%. Why do you need an extra buffer of 20%? Well, sometimes RNG gets really, really fucking interesting when you're doing an AoE pull and you actually need that extra 20% for shit not to get real and hit the fan. It is rare enough that AoE can vary on your AoE pulls, that you can get away with using lower level mana potions to bridge the gap if you really want to get away with having less bits of the Eagle gear. But just having more armor and more stamina is basically the next best thing, because that you got to heal yourself less, blah 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 blah. What else is there to talk about? Yeah, so this heavy mithril gear set can be made by blacksmiths. So for example, if I go on to my paladin, who is in fact a blacksmith, okay, in theory I'll get on my paladin, who is in fact a blacksmith. Oh good, we're still out here from the last video. Alright, blacksmithing. I'm going to turn off everything except, no, we don't want any mail, just plate. Okay, cool. We got the ornate plate. So you can see I have heavy mithril shoulders. It wasn't that good. I looked at it. There's no green armor there. Heavy mithril breastplate is right here, 16 mithril bars. So feel free to compare the cost of a heavy mithril breastplate for 16 mithril bars to, say, an of the eagle piece that you would buy, which would be its equivalent on the auction house. Ornate gear is terrible. Stay the hell away from it. We've got the heavy mithril boots, a good chunk of heavy mithril bars, heavy mithril pants. That's ornate, isn't it? I guess I don't have the rest of the heavy mithril set. But you can get the idea. You can grab the nearest blacksmith, make him make you some of this heavy mithril gear that we're talking about right here. Why am I spending so much time talking about the heavy mithril gear? Because this heavy mithril gear is so good. It is so good that it can actually last you something stupid. Not like 5 levels. It can actually last you like 6, 7, 8 levels, somewhere around there. So if I go over here, which is the gear that you wear at level 47, know that this gear right here is actually competitive. Boop. Boop. Got plate only. Heavy. Is actually competitive still with the heavy mithril helmet. So you can see the heavy mithril helmet is missing suddenly. This is the difference between a level 42 item and a level 47 item. It requires level 42, requires level 47. It's missing 15 intellect, but it still has a hefty chunk of armor attached to it. So the heavy mithril gear is actually absolutely amazing, particularly if you start throwing on things like good leather kits. So for example, I've absolutely fallen in love while leveling with the thick leather armor kit. Why is this? Because the other enchants are kind of expensive and meh for you as a paladin by comparison, but the armor kits are just absolutely amazing. So for example, this thing says here, thick armor kit requires level 30. If you don't know how armor kits work, rugged leather is expensive and hard to come by. Medium leather is also expensive and hard to come by. Light leather is super easy to come by. My bad. Medium leather is easy to come by. It's rugged armor, rugged leather, and heavy armor. Heavy leather is expensive because it's hard to get. But thick leather, thanks to the raptors predominantly in Unguro Crater, is stupidly cheap. And making thick armor kits, it becomes stupidly cheap. And you can start putting them all over your character early on. Absolutely amazing at level 30. I gotta get, I've fallen in love with armor kits. By all means, slap armor kits on just about everything. The only other things that are remotely good around here are like enchants for plus 70 armor to cloak. Pretty damn cheap and really, really good. I put 100 health on this guy. I don't know how expensive or how cheap this is, but since I had a bunch of the Eagle gear, we'll talk about this in a second. Yada yada. But the point is that this heavy mithril gear particularly the helm, the pants, the boots, and the breastplate. Not all the heavy mithril gear is the same. So, for example, if I come over here and I type in heavy, we'll be like, yeah, heavy mithril shoulders. It's terrible compared to what I could otherwise wear because it doesn't have any green armor stat to it. There was another piece around here, I think. No. Was it gloves? Yeah, heavy mithril gauntlets. Let's look at this real fast. All right, look at how stupid this is. So these heavy mithril gauntlets require level 40. They're telling me they have an armor buff because it's 268 green, but somebody actually forgot to increase this damn thing's armor. Because if you look at the level 42 gloves of the intellect, you can see it's 284. So this thing is just stupid. So not all the heavy mithril gear is made the same. Some people like forget to actually increase the damn armor of these things. But the helm is good, breastplate is good, pants are good, and boots are good. So back to AoE farming metrics. You need just enough intellect to kill all the mobs around you, plus 20%. And past that, any additional intellect that you have on your character is just kind of buffer and is kind of wasted. There are two farming methods. Farming method number one for paladins is you gather 3 mobs at a time. It'll cost you about 2/3 of your mana bar or however much it costs to kill them. So you'll have like 40% or like 30% of a mana bar remaining by the time you kill all 3 mobs. Then you drink to just full enough that you can get back up again and grab another 3 mobs and rinse and repeat. Not rinse and repeat. So basically, if I grab 3 mobs and I spend 2/3 of my mana bar to kill them, I will then sit down and drink until I'm about 70% mana. Then I will get up and grab another 3 mobs and burn them down. So I'll now be at like around about 0% mana, somewhere around there. And then I'll sit down and I'll drink to full. And then from there, you rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. In gear like this, I would probably feel very comfortable gathering 4 mobs at a time, burning them down, drinking to full. 4 mobs at a time, burning them down, drinking to full. That's the other way to do it. When you're in pure stamina of the eagle gear, you can handle 5 mobs at a time, burning them down, drinking to full, burning them down, drinking to full. If this is hardcore, you need to be a little bit more careful about what's going on, but it's usually not that big of a deal because, meaning in hardcore, I would never pull 5 mobs ever. It would my maximum would be 4 mobs. Why is this? Because you can kind of survive forever healing yourself and mana potions and for backup and your major recombobulator ray as an emergency trinket. Worst case scenario kind of a thing. But you can see here, up-to-date shield. Heavy mithril gear. The heavy mithril gear can carry you all the way into Blackrock Depths. So you'd only want to change out the heavy mithril gear for some stamina of the eagle gear if you were going into Blackrock Depths. But you grab these pieces, you throw thick leather armor kits on them, and they will carry you all the way into Blackrock Depths, where you'll start getting the really good gear upgrades, if that makes any sense. Rings are probably your most expensive of the eagle buy that there is, period. There's no way to get around it. But the good news is that they don't really upgrade all that much. So you can see we've went up 5 levels and we've gained almost nothing in the ring category. And if I go up to like level 40, like go up another 5 levels and I look at how much the random will increase. Where is of the eagle? No of the eagle? All right, cool. Thank you. I don't want that. Come on, don't. The rock? Wah. Of the eagle? No. Just regeneration? Whoa, regeneration. Qua? Health per 5? Not okay, of the eagle. Yeah. So you can see at most it goes up like a point. Like what the hell are we doing? So the moral of the story is, yes, rings when you buy them are quite expensive. However, you can let them get outdated rather horrifyingly because their stats just don't increase for shit. So, for example, if I go over here and I look at my of the eagle rings, they're 8 stamina and 7 intellect, By the time I go up 10 levels from here, it's 9 intellect and 9 stamina. Like, whoop-de-fucking-do. The rest of this gear is increasing rather dynamically. So this is 10 and 9, and then 5 levels later, it's 10, and I guess it's 8. So this isn't going up either. But the more important thing here is that the armor went up significantly, probably. So this is 341, and this is 366. Again, I can just let this gear get outdated. It's not the worst thing in the world. You're allowed to have your Of the Eagle gear outdate. It's actually pretty resilient to outdating, believe it or not. The most important thing, of course, is to keep your shield up and to make sure that you have thick armor kits, all like 4 of them, like all over the place. Put them on your damn boots. You don't need to run faster. Put them on your pants. Put them on your chest. Put them on your gloves. Like thick leather armor kit. Thick leather. It'll make the piece of gear last longer before you really start feeling the effects of the diminishing armor going on. So, for example, this gear right here. With the exception of I might want to eventually replace these thick leather armor pants and breastplate with Of the Eagle gear, the heavy leather mithril gear, could easily take me into Blackrock Depths. Like, not even a problem. So as long as I switched out this heavy mithril plate gear for Of the Eagle gear, eventually, before I get to Blackrock Depths, I could easily just step into Blackrock Depths and tank and heal the dungeon, no problem, with this gear. Right, so you don't even need like a heavy upgrade. But this is a heavy upgrade. You can see that the stats change somewhat, but a lot of that is level. So for example, if I come over here and I just increase the level to 47 so that they are equal, you can see that this is 2,850. This is 2,900, not the worst thing in the world. You can see I have 1,000 more mana on the gear because all the gear is horrifyingly up to date. And my HP goes up by, was that like 300 some or so? Some of this is due to differences in enchants. So for example, I think I've got stamina over here, which is being enchanted. Whoa. Where's the, no, okay, this is the actual level 47. This should be, yeah, I got stamina here, but you might want intellect enchants instead. Bring it back down, level 42. Okay, cool. So it's a massive intellect increase when I'm able to switch out this heavy mithril gear. So for example, let's just do this real quick. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. This is going to be an hour-long video. Just suck it up. Let's go Of the Eagle. Let's go Of the Eagle. So let's say I'm upgrade. That's terrible. Let's say I upgrade my gear to Of the Eagle gear around about level 47, give or take. And then let's compare the differences from there. I'm actually going to pause the videos because this might take me a hot second. All right, cool. We are back. All right, so now let's look at it. So I took my level 42 character and I upgraded him. All I did was change out the heavy mithril gear pieces to 5 levels later for up-to-date Of the Eagle gear. And we'll now look at it. So you can see I've got less than 100 mana difference now. That's 110 mana difference exactly. Some of that might be due to the enchants, but I doubt that. HP is still a little lower, but it's not the worst thing in the world, right? Like, so this is what I mean by as long as at some point you're swapping out the heavy mithril gear into Of the Eagle gear before you get to Blackrock Depths, you're going to be solid, if that makes any sense. But the heavy mithril gear is definitely some good gear. It can be expensive. You notice it was like 16 mithril bars, 15 mithril bars, you know, blah, 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 blah. So compare the cost of buying, getting somebody to make you the heavy mithril gear set, those 4 pieces, helm, chest, legs, feet, to if you just took that gold and bought Of the Eagle gear right now. But that's my gearing advice, basically. And you can let the rings go out of date to all hell. All right, cool. So the only other thing to really talk about here, besides, you know, have an important up-to-date shield, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people ask me, what's the best enchant to put Fiery Blaze on? The answer is just a damn knightly longsword, preferably of stamina. while you're leveling 100%, 10,000%, put Fiery Blaze on a damn Knightly Longsword. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you're not on a hardcore server and or you have lots of gold, the answer to that would be Flurry Axe. Put it on a damn Flurry Axe. If you have if we're talking like I want the best possible AoE tanking setup for being level 60, put the damn enchant on a Edward the Odd, I do believe. But for leveling purposes, yeah, just throw it on your Knightly Longsword and call it a day. What else is there to talk about here? Uther Strength Trinket. So I've been hesitant to tell you guys about this trinket for one simple reason. This trinket you can usually get very, very cheaply off the auction house. Usually like 50 gold, less than 40 gold, somewhere around there, or even less. This trinket, the moment I tell people about this is the moment I'm going to be responsible for doubling the cost of this damn trinket. So hopefully the community doesn't catch on when I tell you this. Uther's Strength is one of the best trinkets for AoE Paladin in the entire game, and it is so good that we even use it in era for PvP. Like I just got done doing the Drakova versus Hunter video, and you'll notice how much I'm praising him using Uther Strength Trinket in that duel. Uther Strength is actually objectively insane. I don't know if the shield scales with you as you level, but what I do know is that when you pick it up at level 47, it feels like it gives you like a 300 HP shield. But when you use it at level 60, it feels like it's giving you more like a 500 HP shield. I have no idea why the hell that is. At the very least, it's like not 500. It feels more like 400, 450, like something like that at level 60. What it might be is that when it procs, it's actually just giving you a 400 HP shield. But it feels like it's less effective when you're lower level because you're wearing a bunch of green gear, your armor is kind of low. The damage reduction factors in armor and all other effects of armor. So it's not like, a boom 400 HP. You get the point, right? So the more armor and the better gear you have, the more powerful Uther Strength is. Absolutely amazing trinket. We use it all the time in PvP just because Paladins are so hard to kill that this thing's going to proc all over the place. And it's procking, lets you do all kinds of crazy things. Like it's an amazing trinket. Get it. While you're leveling, one of the best purchases in the entire game is Uther Strength Trinket. Mark of the Chosen is another amazing trinket. There was one other one that I thought about, which is a quest reward, the Heroes of Old trinket, blah, 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 blah. This might be really dangerous to do, though, because it takes you into the Blasted Lands, and if you don't know, there's a giant death dragon of doom in there. Be advised, and the quest itself might get you killed, blah, 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 blah. But, MP5 and restoring health per 5 isn't the worst thing in the world as far as the trinket is concerned. Mark of the Chosen, however, is far easier to get. Just find a more veteran player to help you kill the Khans and Maradon. It's not the worst thing in the world. 2% chance when struck in combat to increase all your stats by 25 for 1 minute. That might not sound amazing if you know how increased stats work on your Paladin, but when you're pulling 4 or 5 mobs, this thing is going to proc really, really fucking fast. So in the grand scheme of things, it'll give you like 20 stamina, 20 intellect worth of mana every time you pull mobs, which is absolutely amazing. It's super, super worth it. Is it better than Major Recombobulator Ray? Hard to say. Like straight up, it is hard to say which is better. The guaranteed emergency 500 health and 500 mana on a 5-minute cooldown trinket, Major Recombobulator, or Mark of the Chosen, which may or may not be there for you, but it'll probably always be active when you're AoE farming, or almost always active when you're AoE farming, effectively giving you plus 20 stamina and plus 20 intellect. Hard to say. I would say that if you don't have Uther Strength Trinket, obviously Mark of the Chosen, Major Recombobulator Ray, and just get on with life. If you have an Uther Strength Trinket, then Mark of the Chosen, I think, becomes a much more viable option because one of these two trinkets is going to be there for you when you make a pull, right? Either Uther Strength is going to be going off like crazy or Mark of the Chosen is going to be there for you, and it's just goody-goody gumdrops. Absolutely amazing, good stuff here. But spend the damn gold to get Uther Strength Trinket. You will not regret it. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the video here. I looked around. The TLDR is that outside of Blackrock Depths, all right, outside of Blackrock Depths, there really isn't any quest rewards worth a damn to help you gear as your Paladin. The best way to gear your Paladin on any server, if you're fresh, is to literally just stop and farm gold. And that'll take the form of fishing, herbalizing, or mining, or and to a lesser extent skinning. I would not advise skinning. So you just go farm some materials and sell them on the auction house and get the gold, and then turn around and buy of the eagle gear. Like, actually stop your leveling, spend a day to fish and to farm gold, and then to upgrade your gear. I'm not joking. I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds painful. I know you want to go, 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 go. But just spending a damn day to chill the hell out and fish and do whatever the hell to get your gold is to get your gold. Really good places to fish. Just look at what's selling on the auction house as far as fish is concerned. Usually blackmouth sells really good. Fire fin snapper sells really good. What else tends to sell really good? The stone scale eagles and tenacis sells really good. Yep, just fish, farm, fish, farm, fish, farm. Get your damn gold, upgrade your gear, and move on with life. But the good thing about the eagle gear is that as long as your shield is up to date, you can let your plate of the eagle gear last for a long, long, long time. Just don't forget armor kits. Don't forget to enchant your cloak with plus 70 or more armor, and Deus Volt boys, basically. All right, we cool? All right, so we can end the video here, and Deus Volt.